Evening from wherever you are in the world. This is the AMS2 Community Cup, and my name is Eike, back in the box for server 1, although let's be perfectly fair, both servers in this AMS2 Community Cup championship is absolutely stacked to the gills with talent from all over the sim racing world. Tonight, as is always the tradition, we are spending time down under using the fantastic, monstrous V8s in the form of the Chevrolets, on this occasion at the indomitable Bathurst circuit. Just at the very start of qualifying, you have missed none of the action, just YouTube being YouTube and deciding that it doesn't want to start the stream properly. So I just wanted to double check everything, make sure we were getting no technical issues in the course of the start of this race. Lag slug already looking for some clear air past the NRT car of Chris, but a beautifully turned out livery for both of these drivers. Noobs Gaming turning out once again in their orange fade to green-ish livery that we've become so accustomed to. Looks absolutely fantastic on every car that they field, and this is absolutely no exception. The RPM cars showing up once again with a gorgeous livery in line with their normal theming, using the lines of the V8 to the maximum that it can. No times as yet on the board, so using this opportunity to make sure that we get everybody seen, not ignoring the independents, of course. The independents have a generic AMS2 Community Cup livery, however they are still created by members of the community. I believe this is one of the NRT drivers who is building this. 10 Tenths, a community who have been a team to keep an eye on, turning out with a iconic, I think is the only word for it, Acertech SimSports themed black, white and red livery, getting out of the way for one of the MVRC cars in the form of JK. Carbon fibre livery on show for the MVRC team. Who haven't we looked at yet? AMSU in their orange glory, orange and red on this occasion. So two different liveries for AMSU team. A vibrant red and a regal orange and chrome effect for them. So Bathurst, a really complicated and difficult track. Only one time so far on the board, a 2:11 from Flying Hawkick. Tinez comes across the line 9 tenths off and goes straight back to the pit. Glenel's 81 goes to the top for curb clippers. I knew there was a livery that we'd missed. Beautiful two-tone black livery across the back of the car, and the curb clippers white and blues and purples that once again we're starting to become accustomed to, but it never ceases to amaze me how gorgeous all of the teams turn out their cars for this championship. Sound off if you're in the chat. I do have the live stream chat open. Who are you supporting? Who should I be watching for this race? JK for MVRC to the top of the timing screens in the early portion of this qualifying. Still 9 minutes and 35 to go though, so we don't count anything or anyone out at the moment. RPM we've already looked at. SSR did get a background check in the practice, but a good look around that, fantastically matched, and I can't imagine how difficult it would be to the slightest rubs on the wall. He'll get away with that. I would hate to do the panel matching on that job. He won't get away with that, will Gerald Schmid. But if it gets him higher up the timing screens, well, I guess we'll see how that goes. JK to the top for MVRC. Gerald Smith pushing it a little bit too far. Slayer 72 for the Independents doing really well here, up in 6th position at the moment. Really getting the grips with this almighty front engine rear wheel drive beast. Actually, I think it's rear engined, judging by the scoops. Who's going quicker at the moment? It is Pusata for RRC, who's doing their personal best. But the fastest splits are all over the place at the moment. Pro for 10 tenths goes to 7th across the line, with a lot of damage showing on the side of that car. He has kissed the wall a little bit too hard. Of course, when you're up in the draft of another car, it doesn't really affect you as much in the straight line speed department. Who's where at the moment? I'll tell you what, now's a perfect opportunity to jump on board with JK for a fast lap. So turn 1, Hell Corner, so named because there used to be a tree stump on the inside or outside of the corner, and people used to unfortunately lose their lives on that little tree stump, and so that corner could send you to hell. All the way up Mountain Straight, let the engine ring out all the way up to turn 2. Mountain Bend, a few other names for it as well. And then up to the cutting, branded with Audi's hoardings at the Bathurst 12 hour. Not so tonight. Up through the climb we go. Then keep the car as flat as you dare. I don't think I heard a lift from JK there. That's a well-balanced car as he comes across the top, hooks the curb to get the car pointed in the right direction. There's a car up ahead who is going to stay right out of the way, over Skyline, and down the hill will come. This isn't a faster lap at the moment. Oh no, it is faster. Why are you not showing up properly? Come on. As he comes down to Forest Elbow, out of the onto Conrod Straight, again so called because many people used to lose their Conrods, coming back down towards the final corner, which again is the reason why the next arrangement of corners ended up being put in place. The Chase, so called because it's actually named after a after another driver who blew his car up in the 1930s. One of my friends is a massive fan of this track, so that's the reason why this is happening. But there is your turn by turn of the Mount Panorama Bathurst circuit that we're going to be on tonight. And it never gets boring being able to come back here. And that is JK to the top of the timing screen, so that must have been in the final sector that he nailed it. Looks like it, yep. So no fastest sectors, but brought all of the sectors together in such a way that it's maximising the overall time. Goes to show how difficult these cars are to drive. Looks as though Glenhouse 81 is on a bit of a flyer as well. No, that is not what I'm looking at. It's his best we were looking at there. Who is going faster? It looks like JK is going faster again. He's found another 10th in the first sector. He's found 2 tenths in the second sector. This won't be, once again, this won't be fastest of all so far unless he can get it very hooked up through the chase. But this could be an extension to that provisional pole position. 3 minutes remaining. Plenty of time for other drivers to get that critical lap in. And a little bit twitchy and a little bit unsettled through the chase for JK. Can't see what his delta's going to be. But through the final corner he comes across the line, and it's a new fastest lap, 2:10.666 for JK and the MVRC car. Who else is circulating around at the moment? No time for Dustin as yet. Hopefully this will be his opportunity. Big slide and correction. Keeps it out of the wall. Any time at the moment is going to be better than no time at all. Quite a big split between the head and the tail of the field at the moment. But plenty of opportunity for positions to be gained. 2 minutes left, so we're coming up towards the final laps. Where is everybody on the track? We have a lot of drivers in Sector 1 at the moment. This will be a final lap as well for Dustin if they decide to take it. That is one of the it's not Chris, it is the other NRT driver. Tinez in the pits. And commentator cursing ourselves tonight. Poor Jin struggling with Forest elbow. It looks as though Dustin has put in a very competitive time. 1 minute, 1 second, .677 off of pole, but that puts him right up into the top 10. JK is content with that pole position. Busata is got that V8 nailed to the ground. Let's have a look how his splits are doing. He's on par. Let's see how the second split is. It's going to be difficult to beat, but he is up. There is a possibility here for... Oh, that's going to be very tight. It's all going to come down to this final sector for Busata. Everyone's starting now to come through to the final sector. Are there any last-minute position changes as they come across the line? J-Turn, who was hoping to be doing magic things in that bright orange AMV8. Owen goes to 5th towards the top of the timing screen, taking flying hawk kick for the RPM team down to 6th on the starting grid. J-Turn has been... He's up on his previous times. This could be enough to get him a couple of positions. He's going to come across the line and go no further. I just lost out on that final position. Let's see. I think Flying Hawk Kick is potentially... Yep. Where's Flying Hawk Kick here? So he's up there, he's up there. This could be another one. He does have the fastest final sector. It pushes it to 4th position for RPM. So after being demoted down a couple of positions, retakes that second row on the grid. And JK not content to take just 2 fastest sectors. That's a man who is wanting to take all 3. He's gone faster again in the second sector. That is an almighty statement across the top of the mountain. And now the long draw down Conrad into the chase. Will he be able to nail the braking? It looks tidy. Just a little bit of a lockup on entry, but that's totally understandable. Sacrifice a bit of tyre for the sake of getting the car stopped in through the final corner. And how much is pole going to be? It's going to be a massive half a second. And 2 fastest sectors for MVRC, with Flying Hawkic for the RPM team taking the fastest first sector by half a tenth, 4 hundredths to be precise. And Blue Fear, I believe, is doing donuts. So we have the best part of the evening, where we have a final grid. We know what we have to face for the next 45 minutes of racing. And we get to take a very quick breather. JK then for MVRC takes that pole position. Blank file for Curb Clippers in second. Busata in third for the RRC team. Flying Hawkic in RPM in fourth. A brilliant lap to take that 4th position. Glenelg's 81 in 5th position, and the first of the teams to have both of their drivers in the qualifying position. 2nd and 5th, that's going to be very satisfying for Blankfile to have that teammate back up so close at hand. AMSU will start from 6th in the form of Owen. Gerald Schmid will start for SSR in 7th. The Independent Slayer 72 done absolutely exceptionally there to start in 8th position, with Pro for 10 tenths not having a fantastic time of it at Bathurst tonight, but 9th position, still inside the top 10. Dustin in for the SSR team will start from 10th position. Tinners for NRT in 11th in that beautiful Martini livery. Jin for MVRC will start from 12th. J-Turn will start from 13th. Michelle Giramoni will start from 14th. 15th will be the second 10 tenths in the form of Blue Fear. Cephalodor will be racing as an independent tonight in 16th. Lag Slug for SRGP in 17th. Chrissy H will start from 18th in the other NRT car. Super Baker will start from 19th in the RPM car. Andy G will start from 20th for SRGP. Nonny Rat running again as an independent will start from 21st. Ting Cullingworth will start for Noobs Gamers in 22nd, and Frim for Noobs again will start in 23rd. So a fantastic grid. Very well lined up, and apparently really well timed. My goodness, it's going to be a messy start. A standing start for the drivers, and around the final corner is how far back the queue goes at Murray's. We're expecting pit stops through the course of this race, and as well, especially for fuel, but perhaps tyres as well. Depends how well these drivers can look after those 4 squirrely bits of rubber on the corners of their cars. Stock V8s is what they are. They're not the Aussie V8s, I don't think. Possibly, judging by lap times, it could be 21 laps, which would cause issues for the pit strategies. But the main thing tonight is push to pass. We have 15 occasions to use push to pass. Now, you think that you've got two long straights that you can use that push to pass on, 50 horsepower for about 10 seconds. And so we will see those being used several times across the course of this race. Do you use it reactively? Do you use it proactively? And how much do you use it? Do you save those first few laps until you are settled and then start pushing once you're settled in? Or are you stuck? Or do you push hard and then not have those push to passes left at the end of the race? How did we do there? 4 seconds until the start of the race. Timing is on point tonight, it seems. Let's get a perspective out the front. Bit of a roll for Eike after such a fantastic qualifying session, but they are all away, I believe, at the back of the grid as well. A little bit disadvantaged, but very, very neat coming down in towards turn 1. Very, very sensible from all concerned. It looks as though the two SSR cars are going to be joined together. Only one of the independents between them now, so perhaps being able to work together as they come up towards turn 2 for the first time of asking, and that is AMS2, that's Owen, having to go defensive against Flying Hawkick, but gets the job done for the time being up to the mountain for the first time of asking, and they are still 2 abreast. It looks as though it is Dustin in the SSR car getting a big smoke of the inside tyre. It's not going to do his tyre life any help whatsoever, but he gains the position, 6th position, as they come across the mountain for the first time. Beautiful SRGP livery as well, which has caused issues. Cullingworth falling back from the back a bit, no problem at all there. There is likely to be issues, and so no sooner do I say it as Michele Giamaroni gets pushed into the outside wall at Skyline and S's, and that is a position made for Tim Cullingworth. Thankfully, it wasn't at the very tightest part of the race, but they're out of the danger section now, side by side for Tinez and Chin. Tinez has got the run by the looks of it. Makes the position to 11th, or successfully defends, but the side draft for Chin, he's just got more straight line speed. Into the chase they come. J-Turn is hunting behind as well, and a little bit too much space given, and that is Cephalor. Nope, that is... Where's he gone? Blue Fear for 10/10. I knew it was a 10/10 car, I just couldn't click on it. Kept moving, doing the sensible thing and resetting to get back on track. Lap 2 then. And you would think that we would start to settle down, but once again, that push to pass has now started to be effective. Owen makes it past the Curb Clippers car. With a little bit of a use of that extra 50 horsepower. And now it's about maintaining that position over the top of the mountain. Looks as though Flying Hawkick has got the pace on Dustin if he can just keep it together across the top of the mountain. But all is well at the moment. It's all just incredibly tight, and Dustin has lost the position. Oh no, it wasn't. That was liveries getting mixed up. Good grief. Flying Hawkick fell back over the top of the mountain. What can he do now as the 8th place now, Slayer 72, is having a look at this battle ahead and seeing what he can do. remember, push to pass, playing an active role here. 50 extra horsepower for 10 seconds could well be the difference between a position being made and a position not, but that's going to be driving the pace further and further and further forward. Actually, Prover 10/10 is doing a fantastic job of leading this secondary train in 9th position. Really good to see that. Just using a little bit of clear air, so keeping the radiators cool, keeping the racing line clear for himself. And once again, it'll be Owen alongside Gurnals. Defends the position, and now it's going to be Dustin around the outside that gets it done just about, but it's very, very close as they come up towards the cutting. And to quote one of my South African friends, done and dusted for that pass for Dustin. Now what can Flying Hawkick do in the background? This is the battle over last at the moment. Looks as though Blue Fear has got the car back together, but a big clip on the wall. That's going to be damage for Blue Fear now. Either that or that was desync. That looked like a big clatter on the wall though. Down into the chase. And Glenn Alls wants that position that he's just lost to Dustin. Back again. Meanwhile, Slayer 72 is getting close again as well. There could be several fights going on for quite a while throughout the course of this race, just in case that wasn't obvious. Now, 2 mandatory stops. There could be an opportunity to pit a lap earlier or save some fuel whilst up in this traffic and pit a lap later than the cars around you. That extra clear air and being able to run your lines free of the concern of the other drivers might actually work quite well. Just realised we don't have a driver tracker. Why do we not have a driver tracker? Why don't we have a driver tracker? That's not right. There we go. I have no idea why that wasn't working before. I'm very sorry about that. That was super, super strange. Anyway. And here we go again. It's the battle of the overtake buttons. Blank file under pressure from Busata, and the pass made quite easily. That's the difference the 50 horsepower is making. Blank file keeping his powder dry at this early stage of the race. Busata thinking that he can run and catch JK in that leading MVRC car. And perhaps those two fighting together might bring them both back towards blank file. I understand that racer logic. Now what was a two-car battle has become a third, and looks like Pro is breaking away from the train behind him as well. This could very well become a four-car battle in the very near future. Glenel's, I dare say, may use his push-to-pass button once again, coming up towards the mountain. Makes the pass stick nice and easy from Flying Hawkick, who does as much as he can reasonably to defend, but doesn't do much. That looks good. But now over the mountain, who's got the low downforce setup and who's got the high downforce setup, relatively speaking? It looks as though, it does actually look as though Glenel's has the higher downforce setup there. Able to hold so much more apex speed than the two behind, but obviously there's still quite a bit of wash from these cars. Big, hefty chassis these are. And Chrissy H, I dare say, oi! Once again, the slightest of clips on the inside wall. And AMS2 doing what AMS2 does best and recreating incidents like that perfectly, in that it doesn't send you across the other side of the track in a smoking flame. Fine Hawkick now looking back at Glenel's, and Slayer is absolutely in this fight now. Is that Glenel's running with his brake lights on or side lights? That's an almighty amount of straight line speed. Flying Hawkick did not get a very good launch there, and Slayer sees his opportunity to take some points off of the RPM team. Comes back across in front to seal the deal. And that is points lost in the team championship for RPM. Super Baker now on the back of Jin in the MVRC car. Whoa, Jin having issues with the stability at low speeds. I dare say we might be coming up to the point where some of the drivers might be looking at a pit stop, and a big knock on the inside for Jin means that Baker may well be smelling the blood in the water. That was a terrifying lag as well. I would hate to have that anywhere around here. It looks as though they are, as you were for the time being. Big push for Flying Hawkick in the straight line. That is definitely a push to pass being operated. Can he make it 2 and 1 straight? I don't think he can. Let's jump on board with him again. Let's see what's going on with those brakes of Glenel's up ahead. No. He's just running with whatever lights the V8 has. And I dare say there is a strategy to what's going on here. Another push to pass from Slayer 72. Oh, puts him ahead, but overspeed into Griffin's Bend. And that is him well out of the fight, and Pro sees an opportunity as Flying Hawkick misses the cutting. He thought he was free of a fight, and all of a sudden Flying Hawkick has got an entirely different problem in the form of the 10/10 car of Pro, who has seen the strategies that are being played ahead and now has the opportunity to capitalise on that knowledge. What will the 10/10 car do? They get very, very close through Forest's elbow. Out onto Conrad they come. And that is extremely static. I wonder if Pro is saving his boosts for later on when he's a bit more confident. That's very close now. He's got to be smelling an opportunity. Yep. A little bit of a look up the inside. Still left-hand drive for these cars. And again, a big twitch on exit for Flying Hawkick. Those tyres are starting to cry enough. 10/10 crest. Actually, I wonder... I think it was this... No, not that one. Oh, that's boring. I did try. There we go. But it's a little tiny bit not very nice to watch this. Look how close he's getting, though. Come on, give us better perspectives, please, Razor. Oh, another big hit. Heard nice and close from the camera's perspective for Flying Hawkick, but another one for Pro. These guys are all getting very, very ragged, and we're only a quarter of an hour, like a third of the way through the race. If anyone can find themselves using less fuel, this could still be incredibly important as Dustin gains a position on Owen. 4th and 5th. Just a little bit of an incident for Dustin there. For Owen, for MSU. Back to this fight over 7th position. And Pro is not leaving Flying Hawkick alone. This has allowed Glenelgs to leave them to the tune of 3 seconds and start hunting the pack ahead. Next on his hit list is Owen in the... As that's Glenelgs. What's happened to Glenelgs? On the grass. Is this fuel or is this... Oh, he's stopping by the side of the road. This is awful news for the Curb Clippers team. And that is our first retirement, I think, unless he can get back out of the pits. I don't know if he can, though. That's heartbreak for Curb Clippers, who are looking to score some extremely good points here. And it sounded like fuel. It sounded like fuel, but we just don't know. Nonirat running very solidly now in 15th position. And that fight that was over 7th position is now over 6th, and even more points for the RPM and 10/10ths team. Gerald Smead losing out on the fight at the moment, and so is Slayer, who was included in the fight. Slayer's up 1 position from the start of the race, which is good to see. But then he gets it wrong, and a big spin onto the inside wall. Stop the car before you start turning right. There is an opportunity, there you go, to reset the car. Like that, first of our pit stoppers. Gin into the pits. This will be fuel and tyres. Or possibly just fuel for the first time of asking. And there is another driver coming in as well. Tinez into the pits for NRT. Earliest of the pit stops so far. Need to keep an eye out for where our leaders are going to decide to take their first pit stop of the evening. Bit of a lock up there from JK. As masterful as his pedal control has been this evening, there are still little mistakes coming through in his driving. Just giving a glimmer to blank file that Curb Clippers aren't out of the fight for this one quite yet. Not to mention, I dare say, these guys are probably not using any of their push to pass as yet. No signs of a pit stop yet, so that's very interesting. Making the fuel last longer than we had expected. Could they go as far as a 1 stop in this race? We started with 45. It looks like these guys are going to make a 1 stop work. Into the pits for Busata, Dustin, Flying Hawkick. This time Gerald Schmid into the pits as well for at least some fuel. J-Turn's going to make some positions out of that. Slayer 72, Bo Baker, both into the pits as well, Andy GH. So this is where the fuel was starting to run out. These two leaders at the moment, in fact the top 6, top 7, have made it last another lap. Now, could this be what they need to get to the end of the race? Where's Bluefear? Bluefear into the pits. Lagslug into the pits. Cullingworth into the pits. Jinston on the back straight, and Tinez coming off the top of the hill. So, a bit of a split strategy here. Perhaps some of the drivers running on a lower fuel burn are sacrificing a bit of straight line speed for being able to do this race in 1 stop. It's so close to them being able to do 1 stop. And some of the drivers are away. Jin is going to make it past up to Super Baker. who will have more speed coming out of the pits. It's one of the things that's really peculiar about Bathurst. Gets moving nice and quick, and that is all of those pit stops served, I would assume, nice and cleanly. Into the pits for JK and blank file. Where's Owen? Owen into the pits. Pro into the pits. Where's Cephalor? Going to come for the independence. It's into the pits for this time. Vasking J-turn. Looks like he's going to veer left into the pits as well. Can he get the entrance right? Lovely and steady. Big cut on the second chicane. And into the pits. Chrissy H, I dare say, is going to do the same. So an extra lap for the leaders, and a couple of other drivers down the course of the field. This could be super interesting as far as the rest of the race is concerned. We're under 20 minutes to go. Sure, that was one way to stop. And now the first of the drivers who pitted last time around come to the start-finish straight. And who is leaving? Blank file is leaving the pits. Busata's going to make it past J-turn. J's still stopped. It's going to be Pro for 10/10ths. Back out onto the track. He was involved in a fight with Flying Hawking ahead. He has lost some time in the pit stop, but I would dare say that is a fresh, clean, undamaged V8. That certainly looks clean to me. Damage fixed. Whereas, oh no, it looks as though, unless Flying Hawkie's got a bit of damage already within a lap. But that wouldn't be too surprising, to be honest. Now Pro with all of the work to do, but how much will that lap's difference make in the strategy of this race? It was very touch and go when it comes to pits and pit strategy. I don't think that the drivers who pitted before can make it to the end of the race on their current fuel. I don't think. That is, they may know something I don't. However, the drivers at the head of the field, they might know something else. And a 3-second delta to Owen means that JK can now actually save fuel and cement that victory. Ignore me entirely. AMSU, Owen has made it to second position for the AMSU team. Absolutely astounding. Yay, finally I can... Oh wait, why are you on top chat? You shouldn't be on top chat. There we go. Evening Maria, evening Rocco Tamanoidus. How are you doing, my friend? Why are you not with us tonight? Always miss trying to pronounce your name properly in the heat of the moment. Ah yeah, from your vacation. And why didn't you take the sim rig with you? Oh, this is not good. Ah, there we go. Mr. Dan Welsh was briefly in the com box as Tinez makes a position down against his teammate Chrissy H. I was going to say, who is your substitute, Rocco? Oh, I tell you what, do you know what? This is cool. This is extremely cool. I'm going to just stick with this for a second. I always love the NRT liveries. They're absolutely great. Let's just appreciate, one, the noise of these cars, and two, how pretty that NRT car looks from the side, apparently. Ah, I don't know how Racilla is doing. I'm not able to see him, unfortunately. He'll have to check either Split 2 or, I believe, Metz is streaming Split 2 as well, if you go to his channel. But feel free to feedback. Where are the battles going on in this race now? It's another one of those things that I need to add and sort out. Is some kind of advisement on when the drivers are close. Ah, Racel is in 12th. There you go. Thank you very much, Dad. It looks as though they're all ever so slightly spread out at the moment. Erwin's falling back from JK and into the grips of blank file. So that could be an option. A possibility later on in the race, but the splits by comparison are quite dramatic. There's a couple of tenths in each sector, so about half a second on their best. But how are they circulating at the moment? Significantly worse. So I could well imagine that we'll see a battle over second position in the very near future. I did think that Jay was getting closer to Cephalor ahead. Thank you very much, Rocco. Yeah, I spent quite a bit of time on that. It doesn't work flawlessly, but all the while I'm looking at the server host, it's going to have no issues whatsoever. So, appreciate that. I did try and make it as much in theme with the AMS layout as possible. Just pondering this at the moment, as I believe we're getting to that typical point where all of the fights come along at once. Blank file can see target acquired on the backside of Erwin's AMSU car, and Busata in exactly the same position. Just around the corner is the SSR of Dustin, who holds that fourth position that he would desperately wants. Big clip on the wall there. But it's all closing up once again. It's all closing up in a big way for the fight over second. It's Curb Clippers versus AMSU. AMSU with the strong defense and road position at the moment. Looks like Glenel's has had an issue. And left the session. No, we knew about that. That was very old information. Well, Blank File uses all of that extra 50 horsepower that he's able to get to make the pass on Owen. Curb clippers to second, but now 8 seconds off the back of Eike for MVRC. There you go. Unfortunately, yeah, with how AMS2 does information and data, it's not the best. It could be better. I actually have it on my screen because it's really useful to know who I'm talking about when the auto broadcaster starts moving the camera around. But makes everyone else's life easier as well. Not quite as much progress being made by Busutta versus Dustin. How are their splits? Only a couple of tenths in it. They're extremely closely matched. Best lap, or the ultimate pace that Dustin has achieved so far that Busutta has achieved so far is a darn sight quicker than Dustin. However, Dustin is in his fastest phase of the race as we speak, so there could be more performance in that SSR car than we've seen so far. Maybe some changes in the setup whilst in the pits, a touch more wing or a touch less wing maybe, bearing in mind where we are. He's currently able to hold the RRC car at bay just enough. Meanwhile, J-Turn now very much got his sights set on the independent of Cephalor. Absolutely, I tell you what, hopefully this will actually be worth doing this time. Big twitch from Cephalor ahead, but manages to get the power down on exit, and that's the main thing coming on down onto Comrade Straight. Beautiful, beautiful shots as they come over the rise and down through the kink in towards the chase. It's a big look up the inside, getting all up in the mirrors of Cephalor for J-Turn. And a very clean avoidance of the curbs. This could be a look as they come down in towards the final turn if he's not very sensible. The tiniest of blocks for Cephalor. No true horse in this race, as he's racing as an independent tonight. But look at that 50 horsepower difference. Cephalor just wanders away from the MSU car. So difficult to do anything about that other than reactionarily press your button. But you have to have a strategy when it comes to these push to passes. You can't just push them willy-nilly. There's only 15, and I mean, if you had pressed them once every lap, you are out of push to passes now, which is what you don't want to be as you come towards the end of this race. I have no idea what's causing those lag drops either. That's really annoying. Lovely early braking for J-Turn. Keep the car sensible and stable. And feel myself leaning in towards the apexes. Try to kiss the walls as you come down towards the second half of the circuit and this never-ending straight. What a beautiful view, even in a computer game. And this is J-Turn's opportunity. He uses his push to pass. He's closer this time. He might be able to make the pass cleanly along the straight. They're side by side as they come down in towards the chase. He's earlier on the brakes. Jay using picking the having discretion be the better part of valour. He's going to set himself back up on the exit of the chase, comes down towards Murray's corner on the outside. Can he hold it around the outside? This is going to be so difficult to make a pass, but narrows the corner once again for Cephalor. This could be another opportunity if he so desires. This could be a double push of the push to pass button to get this pass done and the independent out of the way for that 9th position. Back onto Mountain Straight they come. And they are as close as they have been. This is going to be a brave move if he does make it. That one? There we go. It's going to be a brave dive if he does. But I think it's going to be a step too far to try and get a position that way. Oh, and another big knock on the wall. It's alright, these space frame chassis cars are built for it. Another brush against the wall. You don't want to do that too many times, because at some point the wheels are going to stop liking you. Appreciate it, Rocco. I'll be perfectly fair, it's difficult not to enjoy the commentary. Sorry, it's very difficult not to commentate well when the racing's this good and this clean. So much strategy coming into this as well. I have a feeling that either both Jay and Cephalor are out of push to passes, or they're both using their push to pass on every one of these long straights now, trying desperately to either make the position or not lose the position. But once again, Jay's got the opportunity. He has a look to the inside this time. Not going to happen this time, but takes the later line through Murray's Bend. Across the line they come. This is lap 18 as they come down towards Hell Corner for the 18th time. 3 minutes remaining. Jay's running out of opportunities to make this work. And is this the opportunity? Is Cephalor out of push to passes? Does Jay have the overspeed? It looks as though as they come underneath the Fanatec banner, he's got the pass made. Cephalor losing out to the man who organised it all. How much push to pass does J-Turn have left to defend against the independent driver now, though? And how much fuel does he have to get back around the rest of the lap? These guys must be so close to running out of fuel here. That's a second apart. It's so much easier when you can just commentate and you don't have to It's getting quite close as well. Flying Hawk up behind Owen. Busata's made the position a few laps ago by the looks of it, but Owen's starting to fall off here. Once we did see this in about the midpoint of the race, tyres started to go off, and it is going to be made very easy for Flying Hawk here. AMSU back down to 6th and 10th. However, MVRC not scoring two sets of points. Curb Clippers not scoring 2 sets of points. SSR are scoring 2 sets of points. Jay's fallen back again. What's happened there is that I wish we had any kind of information going on here. Bluefair is disconnected as well. Oh no. What's happened to the 10/10ths drivers? Rose is still in 7th. So points coming the way of Pro. And I think Jay has something ever so slightly terminal wrong with his car. What's going to happen here? I think this is going to be the final lap of the race. JK has been absolutely peerless throughout the entire course of this race. Qualified a 10th up and then cemented that by improving by 4/10 to make it an entire half-second gap between himself and the next fastest driver, and has ruled with an iron fist. That might be a little bit personal today. Has taken the pole, taken the win by the looks of it, but will not retain the fastest lap. That will go to the man who finished in 2nd position, but it is a win for MVRC. It's a win for JK. And how much fuel does he even have left to be able to do some celebratory donuts? A big breath and sigh of relief inside the cabin of that stock car. Blankfile will take home the fastest lap of the race. Dustin for the SSR team will take home 3rd position, beautifully lined up on the exit of turn 1. Absolutely wonderful to see. Jin and Slayer still in a relatively tight fight, but I think that may be settled. Let's have a quick look. I think that's kind of all she wrote, but MVRC looks like potentially 2-point scoring cars. Makes it to the checkered flag. Does Jin and Slayer. Who's that's spun? That is Pro that got to the line and decided, nah, I've had enough. I mean, understandable. Michelle Giamaroni, a triumphant finish in 16th, damage and all. Nonirat for the independents. Chrissy H will come down across the line. Lag Slug for SRGP will be the fastest car on the track for just a moment as Tim Cullingworth brings up the rear. They have plenty of time to get this race finished, but my goodness, what a race. Beautiful donuts littering the infield on Mountain Straight as Tim Cullingworth comes across the line, and that will spell the end of the session. What a race. The mountain never fails to deliver, and I think, as is the norm, the track chose the winner more than the drivers did. JK was absolutely peerless from start to finish. The mountain looked with favour upon MVRC today, and they will take home maximum points from tonight. We'll wait very quickly for the drivers to make their way in. There we go. And we get a lovely bit of peace and quiet for just a moment. No, I need to go and find you. I think it was this one. There we go. So, we take a deep breath and we welcome, or who's going to get their hand up first to request to speak? That's the question. It's going to be Blankfile, who wishes to come and say hi. There we go. Evening, mate. That was one hell of a race.
Yeah, that was intense. Let's just call it that one.
Yeah. Didn't get the win, but did get the fastest lap of the race. How's that feel?
Yeah, I feel like there was more in it, but I'm obviously very happy with the podium. Always am. So good for the points. But I messed up pretty much in the pit stop. I finished with 20 liters of fuel that I didn't need. So yeah, that's where it happened.
Well, at least the extra weight was helping you down the mountain. I'm not too sure about up, but I think that that race was a little bit out of the reach of everybody tonight. Eike was a little bit untouchable tonight.
Yeah, I think I could have been. He got 5 seconds on me in the pit stop, I think. So it could have been closer. But yeah, obviously, massive congratulations to Eike. He never faltered, even under pressure. So good job, man.
Absolutely. But fastest lap, podium place, fantastic points for curb clippers. If I'm remembering correctly, the other curb clippers driver failed to finish. I think there was a technical issue for him.
Yeah, I saw Glenn left, but I don't know yet what happened.
Well, we did manage to capture him slowing down and stopping by the side of the road, so it looks as though it was actually a technical issue. But I mean, this makes up for it. I dare say, as far as curb clippers are concerned.
Always happy for points. So yeah, I don't know what the other server happened there, but I'm hoping Johnny and Tex did the thing as well. So
hopefully. Well, we'll all get to see when we go and look at the other one. Unfortunately, I was a little bit focused on our race instead. Fantastic race, really well driven. Hope to be able to speak to you again next time out at. That's a question. What's next? I've forgotten. Where's it gone?
Our race.
Your race, yeah. What have you got?
We've got like very early 90s Formula 1 cars at what's it called again? This Ibarra, I think it's called.
Yes, we've had Ibarra before. That's a very technical track and even more terrifying in Formula 1 cars. I believe we had something like Group C or something there before, and they were lively. I couldn't imagine how much more lively they are. Are you expecting to have a good time?
Yeah, let's hope so. Lovely cars, lovely track. Let's see. Looking forward to it.
It's
and thank you very much for talking with me.
Cascais? I don't know that track. Come on up, Jay. I don't know Cascais.
Hello. I think is it Estoril? Is that its other better well-known name? I might not be 100% right on there, but it might be.
Yes,
is that the one? Is that the one? Yeah. So Formula V10s, choice of cars. So there's four different cars, but we're not using the McLaren because
it's a little bit.
There's three different. Yeah, there are 3 different cars that you can choose for in the class, and a little bit of extra details for in 2 weeks' time rather is that the teams have to pick 2 different. You can't have more than 2 drivers per car, so that means we're going to have some car variety on track. So the whole team can't just use the same car. The 2 drivers max per car per team.
Wow, that's a whole lot of extra technical information to have to take on board. That is encouraging. Blank. I mean. Hopefully it's going to be your home turf. We're hoping for a strong win for curb clippers, but I mean, there's only one more step that you can take from where you are now. Think you can take it next week? Or next week?
Let's hope so.
In a couple of weeks' time. Perfect. You have a lovely rest of your evening. Thank you very much for putting on a fantastic show tonight, and hopefully speak to you again soon.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cheers.
See you again.
Jay, an interesting evening for yourself as well, while I've got you here. Really interesting fight over 9th. Grief, I'm getting all my numbers wrong now.
Yes.
What happened? We saw you pull off a fantastic, looked like push to pass move on Mountain Straight, and then at the end of by the time you got round to Murray's Corner next time round, it seemed to not be.
If that was right at the end of the race, yeah, I made a balls off in the last corner, and that just left that gap open. So I needed to be. I think he'd run out of push to pass at Caffelaw ahead of me, so I think I had the advantage at the tail end. But I ran onto the grass on the final corner, and that just meant there was a 2-second gap, which I just couldn't close to take advantage. But yeah, it was a lovely battle. It sounds like you caught it on the stream. But you got JK, the winner. I don't know if you've had him in voice yet, but he's in voice probably waiting.
Yeah. No.
I imagine, and Dustin as well.
Yep, that's why I put the message in chat to make sure they raise their hands so that they actually want this.
Okay.
It was while you were here. I was going to let you have a little bit of a quick talk through yours. Exactly.
Well, if you caught me on the stream, it was an absolute cracking battle of the Caffelaw. Yeah, I think I was on soft. Well, I know I was on softs, and I think he was on hard. So you have to be careful with the tyres not to lock up or they get worn really quickly. But I managed to make the softs work. So I think I was quicker than Caffelaw, but Caffelaw was much better on the brakes. I don't know if you caught any of the action, but every time I got past him, he would then do me on the brakes.
Yes,
so it was
we did see that.
And he was using push to pass out the first corner, and I was using it down from the mountain because there's no point in using it at the same time.
Yeah.
And so even if I got past him, it would then just overtake me. The next time we went after turn one, he'd have me before the next corner. You see, so yeah. But great battle. I don't know if Caffelaw will watch this stream or not, but absolutely cracking battle with Caffelaw. Nice and clean. The whole race looked pretty clean, to be honest. So nice to see so many finishes at Bathurst. That is impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'll put my teeth back in and try again. We'll let you get back to the audience, and we'll get through everyone else as well.
Nice one.
But do
cheers, Ike, thank you for the streaming.
No, you're absolutely fine, mate. Catch you in a bit. Right, we must invite our winner to come and speak to us. First and foremost, JK. I mean, I said it during the race broadcast. I feel as though the mountain chose you tonight. That was an absolutely astonishing display, and unless you happen to live at Bathurst, pretty difficult to get any kind of practice in. How was that race from your perspective?
I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Really good fun. Great to race Blank again. It's been a while. He's always super on it. I honestly didn't really do that much in the way of practice, so I was fuel saving a lot in the beginning. I just watched a few clips of the shakedown because I couldn't do it myself. So I was trying to calculate that to make sure I managed to get 11 laps because it seemed like that was the best strategy. I thought the tyres were going to absolutely die, and it turns out the front seemed to hold on quite nicely. So before the race, I made a strategy so I could just change the rears. So that saved me a lot of time in the pits because I know Blank is a bit of a wizard with the strategy. Got a really quick pit stop and then just about managed to hold on to the end. But yeah, you just have to be so focused every single lap round Bathurst, or else it'll bite you in the backside. So I'm really happy with this one. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, how many times have you seen the drivers at the end of the Bathurst 12-hour say it's better than anything, it's better than Le Mans, it's better than Nürburgring. It's such a unique track and unique challenge. And as you say, you have the two straights, but you don't really switch off there, do you? That's when you're doing all the stuff that you couldn't do over the top of the mountain because you were too scared of dying.
Yeah, absolutely. It's especially in quali as well. I mean, you have to take every bit of risk that you can, and it actually does pay off around this track massively. I mean, you can gain unbelievable amounts of time over that mountain. It took me a few tries, but I managed to get a decent lap in the end. But yeah, just really happy with the whole event. Really, it went really well.
Absolutely. Well, it's genuinely a pleasure to speak to you. I don't think we've actually spoken properly before. But yeah, what a way to make an introduction. That was one hell of a display, and I haven't even had your car on display because I've been trying to sort out audio. Very sorry. That's not on purpose. There we go. Good.
Hopefully the MVRC boys had a good result in the other server. I'm not really sure what happened there.
Hopefully, yeah. I was going to say we you and me both. I'll have to catch up on that stream once we're finished dealing with this one. But
awesome.
Hopefully,
well, thank you very much anyway.
No, you're absolutely fine. Thank you very much for putting on a fantastic show tonight, and pass our regards on to the rest of MVRC as well.
Of course, of course. Thanks
Cheers,
again.
bud.
We'll catch you in a couple of weeks.
Yes, look forward to it, mate. Have a good evening.
Awesome. Cheers.
Cheers. Next into the com box is the one and only, oh good grief, is Mr. Dustin, who, I mean, what an up and down race for you. I mean, as I said to JK just now, the mountain chooses the victors. It's not, you can practice as much as you like, but in the end of the day, you can only be there and drive. The mountain's going to decide how well you do, and your race tonight was pretty exemplary of that.
Yeah, it was quite good, I would say.
Yeah. How was it for your
nice
perspective?
start. Yeah, obviously my start was first step to finish P3 because I started in P10. I think I was at the end of lap 1, P6 or something like this, or even P5, I don't know. And then from then on, I knew just stay on the black stuff, don't spin around, don't kill the tires, and also lift and coast a little bit so that I don't have to refuel all the way until the end.
How much lift and coast are we talking here? Because, I mean, they're dirty, great big 4 or 5 litre V8s that are absolutely gas guzzlers. How much of lift and coasting were you actually doing, and how much of a difference does that actually make?
While I was behind Irvin, I think I was able to lift quite a bit. Because I was using the slipstream, so I could shift earlier and lift off area for the braking zones. And I think a few liters maybe were definitely the case of saving.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure how much exactly, but it was good.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's one of those things that you need to be. It's a difficult way to play a race, but if you get it right and you can keep the concentration up, then there's plenty of space. There's plenty of places to be had in those sorts of technical strategies.
Definitely, yes.
But you probably will have heard we're going to Estoril in the 1990s F1 cars again next time out. How are you How are you thinking for the next round?
Well, we are a community that is mainly doing Formula 1 races, or we are known for Formula 1 races. So of course we want to be very fast there, and we hope to be on the podium as well. Maybe we can get a repeat of Spielberg from our combo.
No, it's better to hear it from your mouth than mine. But hopefully preparations will go very nicely. Estoril is a very, very technical track, far cry from Red Bull Ring, and I'm very much looking forward to that race. Actually, that's going to be fantastic to commentate. And once again, you'll have all of my envy because I'll want to be in the driver's seat with you rather than up here commentating. But
yeah, and especially it's the old Cascais or Estoril track. It's from 1988.
Exactly.
So it's more bumpier, and the curbs are probably a bit higher. So
proper racetrack.
A bit like Bathurst with Formula 1 tracks, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Proper classic racetrack which takes no prisoners. It's going to make for a real challenge for all the drivers. I can't wait to see how SSR do next time out. But thank you once again for popping in and saying hi to us. Anything else you want to say before I let you go?
Thank you for watching, for everyone. Because I know some of our community members were watching, or even family members, so thank you for that.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully get to see you perform next time out at Estoril, Dustin. You have a lovely evening, and hopefully speak to you soon.
Yeah, see you next time.
Cheers, man. Have a good one. And there is a Tinez in the audience, but he hasn't raised his hand. I'll give him a quick second to respond and see if he wants to say hi. No. Okay. Right, well, with that all said, I believe that is about us done. Perfect. So that was round 5 of the AMS2 Community Cup season 2024. Only a few more rounds to go before we get to crown our 2024 champions. And who will it be? Will Curb Clippers be able to find their footing and reclaim their title in what is a much more fierce competition? Will SSR rise to the challenge? Can MVRC do the impossible and capture that championship? We'll all find out in the very near future here on the AMS2 Community Cup. I have been Ike Sky, this has been the AMS2 Community Cup, and I will see you next time. As always, be excellent to each other, and goodbye.